You have so many decisions to make as a business owner. It can be scary to know if you're making the right choices. And when you're putting your hard-earned money on the line, it can be even scarier. Today, I'm going to tell you which investments are absolutely worth your money and which aren't. Hey, Boudoir photographers. Are you ready to be totally booked out with high-paying clients? I'm Tracy Lynn, and I went from side hustle photographer to running $1 million boudoir photography business, working just 30 hours a month. That's right, just 30 hours a month. On this podcast, I tell you how I did it and how you can too. Hey there, and welcome back. You might notice I've taken a bit of a hiatus over the past few weeks, and for the next few months, you might notice that I'm taking a slight break until about July. I don't want to lie. I was putting out so much content there for a while that I felt like I was burnt out and I just kind of wanted to give up everything. So for the month of March, took a step back and away from my content marketing because I honestly felt like I just couldn't keep up with my podcast and my YouTube content on top of everything else. For the next 3 months or so, I'm going to be slowing down to 2 episodes of my podcast per month and 2 YouTube videos per month, just so that I can catch up, get ahead, and get my sanity back. Starting back in July, the plan is going to be weekly podcast episodes again with 2 YouTube videos per month. Another reason for this is pretty exciting. My boudoir business is undergoing a big expansion, and I honestly just need some time to work through those details as well. I promise I'm gonna fill you in on this in a little bit more on future episodes, but right now I just want to fill you in on what's going on behind the scenes, and honestly, thank you for your patience with me. So now let's just move on with this episode. And honestly, most of you know I'm a boudoir photographer of 10 years going on 11 years, and I've had my 6-figure photography studio in St. Louis for 7 years. I've always been one to invest in my business, whether that's monetarily or a time investment. My first education investment was just 6 months after I bought my first camera. I'm a huge believer in investing in yourself and your business if you want to grow quickly. Over the years, I was always extremely specific about the way that I invested in education in my business. I saw a lot of photographers spending time and money investing in their art, and that's great. I think everyone should invest in their art, but I did the opposite. Instead of investing in my art, I decided to invest in my business first. I wanted to make sure that my business was set up to thrive before I actually invested in my art. So I started with a business workshop, then I invested in some online business education, and I invested in another business workshop, and then I invested in a business coach. Only after I had invested in my business coach and started booking out somewhat steadily did I begin to invest in my photography style. Once I invested in my style, I started getting noticed and booked out even more easily, and my business and my bank account exploded because I was set up to be profitable. I see a lot of photographers doing the exact opposite. They nail their style quickly, but their business isn't set up to be profitable or easy. So instead of being able to handle the influx of clients, these super talented photographers end up burning out and quickly end up quitting their photography business. I don't want that to happen to you. Remember, smart investments help you with improved quality of work, happier clients, and growth. So the first smart investment is, of course, high quality equipment. Cameras and lenses, I would say, would be the first investment. I think all of us know that. So how much is too much to spend on your gear when you're getting started? And you know that I always say use what you have, because remember, it's not the camera or the lenses. It's the person using the equipment that creates the photos. A good photographer can create beautiful images using an iPhone. Not that I'm recommending that you start a photography business with an iPhone. Please don't do that. But a good photographer can use what they already have. So of course you need a camera and a go-to lens. I honestly prefer full frame. I don't think you need to go buy the brand new latest and greatest or anything like that. I think that you can get a good camera and a good starter lens. You could do a 50 millimeter, or my favorite is my 70 to 200 2.8 because I love the compression, but I think that you can use what you have, what came with your camera, to be honest. Like if you have a kit lens, go ahead and just buy a kit lens, buy a full frame camera with a kit lens and a good starter lens, and then go ahead and upgrade when you're ready. So when can you plan on upgrading? I always recommend making your upgrade a goal that you need to reach. So maybe it's booking a certain number of sessions or hitting a specific number in your business bank account. Like maybe you say once you hit $10,000 in your bank account, then you can upgrade your equipment. Whatever works best for you, whatever makes sense for you, that's what I recommend. But just make it something that you need to achieve before you go ahead and buy new equipment. Let's talk about lighting equipment. I talk more about this in episode 55, the best lighting equipment for boudoir photography. Now, lighting can enhance the mood and quality of your photos, including softboxes, reflectors, but when are those investments actually smart? Now, before I get into this, I understand that sometimes you live in areas where you have to have lighting equipment. Totally get that. I have several photographers in the Pacific Northwest. Certain times of the year, they don't have access to natural light, so they do have to buy equipment. Other times, maybe you have access to a beautiful studio space that's cost effective, whether that's a room in your house or a rental, but it just doesn't necessarily have the best lighting. Then you have to think, would it be smarter to invest in lighting equipment instead of get into a studio lease with beautiful light, which may be more than you want to pay for a lease at the moment. So there's pros and cons. Now, we all really need props and sets. That's part of being a boudoir photographer. Unique props and sets can create an exclusive experience and help you build consistency. I definitely agree with that. I didn't let anybody shoot in my studio for years because I wanted my studio to be unique to my style. So I get that that might be the case for you. And if you don't want to rent out your space, or you want to make sure that your props and your equipment are very, very you, I totally get that. If you were looking for props or boudoir photography studio furniture, make sure you go listen to episode 75 where I break down exactly what equipment I have and what props I have in my studio as well. So I definitely agree. You need to have those props and those sets, but I don't think that you need to go invest a lot of money in it. Buy it once, use it until you have a very successful studio before you start investing in more, and then also watch your investments. Now, there's times when investing isn't a good thing. For sure, when you're not ready, we've already talked about that. Make sure that you are ready for the investment. And then before you invest, do your research. You can rent equipment to try it, but make sure it's something that you really want. I invested in a lot of equipment between 2015 and 2017. I ended up selling everything except for what I have now, because I didn't need to invest in that. So now I have a Canon 5D Mark III, a 70 to 200 2.8, and a 50 millimeter 1.2. That's the only equipment that I have. I ended up selling 3 sets of lighting equipment that I invested in. That was between $2,000 and $3,000 worth. I sold a bunch of backdrops that I never used, and I sold about 4 lenses that I never used. So basically, I was buying them, trying them, realized I didn't like them, and ended up selling them. I should have just rented it, decided if I liked it or not, and then decided on if I wanted to go ahead and buy based on actually trying it. I think sometimes you do need to try things to see if you will actually use them, but I think that you can do it in a smarter way than I did. Thankfully, I was able to sell the lighting and the lenses and the equipment. I recouped some of the money, but I still lost a lot of money because I didn't end up using those things, and I didn't need to lose that money. I wouldn't have lost it if I would have tried those things before I bought them. The second smart investment is education and networking. I think we all know that I am a huge believer in investing in education and workshops, networking. I think we all understand that I'm a big believer in that. There's so much value in learning through workshops and online courses, and especially when they're focused on boudoir photography techniques, posing guides, post-production skills, and so much value in business education. I think we all know that I believe in that. So how can you figure out which courses are worth investing in? Of course, there's testimonials. You can ask other photographers who've been through the program. If you ever ask me for photographers who've been in my programs, I will always give you the information, the contact information. So if you're looking to invest in a program, ask the photographer or the educator running the program if you can talk to people that have been through the program so that you can get their opinion on the program. Make sure the photographer who you're learning from has used what they're teaching. I think that's a big thing in the industry, is make sure that they are using what they're teaching and they've applied it to their own business so that it's proven. I think that in the coaching industry in general, not just in photography, there's a lot of super young educators out there who are teaching what they've used in their business, but it's not proven. And that is not just in the coaching industry, or that is not just in the photography industry, that's in the coaching industry in general. I see it so much. I've seen it in masterminds that I'm in. I've seen it all over. And I want to make sure that you are not falling into that trap, because maybe it worked for them, but it's not a proven strategy that will work for other business owners. So make sure what the photographer is teaching or the educator is teaching will work for your specific industry. Make sure it's proven to work. Another thing that I see is a lot of educators teaching something, and they're teaching something that maybe you don't want to actually invest in. So for example, if you don't want to invest in Facebook ads, don't join a marketing program that focuses on Facebook ads. Sometimes they hide their marketing strategy until you're already in. That's a huge red flag. I've been in programs like that where they didn't tell you what the actual marketing strategy was going to teach you. And then I got in there and I realized that the strategy that they're teaching is not something that I want to use in my own business. So make sure that whatever they're teaching is something that you're going to use in your own business as well. On the other hand, if Facebook ads are something that you want to use in your business, don't invest in something like my group program, 6 Figures Simplified, that focuses on long-term organic strategy, where we don't invest in Facebook ads at all. I don't teach Facebook ads. I don't even really believe in them for a specific business. There are times when I think Facebook ads are exactly what you need, and there are times when I don't think that you need them at all. And 6 Figures Simplified, I don't teach that, because usually we're trying to simplify your way to 6 figures. We're trying to decrease your ad spend, decrease your budget. Like, we want to keep more money in your pocket and work less. So in that case, I don't think Facebook ads are the thing that you need in your business. There's so many benefits to going to a conference and learning and networking and staying up to date with trends. This might mean bigger events like PPA's Imaging or WPPI's big conference in March, or it might mean something local to you like a networking event for women in business. Both are beneficial in very different ways. The larger national events, you can see how photographers are running their businesses across the country, as well as meet others in the industry and make connections. The smaller local events are my favorite because I'm more interested in building my photography business locally. So this is where I spend most of my time, especially early in my business. These connections are still paying off years later in the form of referrals both ways. Like, I refer to the business and they refer to me. I send clients to many of those business owners that I met back in 2016, 2017, and they're still referring to me as well. I mentioned this earlier, but I've invested in programs that promised huge ROI only to get in the program and find out that the way that they were teaching marketing was the exact opposite of the way that I wanted to build my business. So before you invest in a program, please make sure that the way in which they're teaching you to build your business is the way that you want to run your business. And if they won't tell you what they're teaching inside the program, that's a huge red flag. Hey, I'm interrupting this episode to let you know that my group program, 6 Figures Simplified, has a huge bonus for joining right now. If you're a photographer looking to grow your business, book out your schedule, or just make your photography business easier and make sure that you're getting paid, this program is the one-stop shop for everything you need to know to run your photography business in the most profitable and automated way possible, giving you more time in your life and more money in your bank account. This program has weekly group calls, a very active Facebook group, a kickoff call with me, a website audit, and we've even added co-working calls as well. And if you join anytime from now until April 17th, you're going to get 2 extra private coaching calls with me, as well as everything else you get inside the program. Take it from Carly. She said, with the help of being in Six Figures Simplified, I actually built out a pricing guide where I could see where everything was going. And then 2 months later, I booked 17 sessions in one weekend. I love having the guidance of Six Figures Simplified to help me do this. Plus, I really enjoy the Facebook group element because I can post when I have a win. I feel so much more confident with my pricing now. The link will be in the show notes, so make sure you check it out and DM me on Instagram at It's Tracy Lynn if you have any questions at all. Let's talk about the third smart investment, and that's marketing. First of all, you want to make sure that you have a well-designed website with the important information your clients need to book a session easily. A website that shows off your portfolio of very consistent images. But remember that your website is not just an online portfolio or a business card. It needs to be able to convert. So let's talk about what a high converting website is. That is a website that takes a lead, turns it into a client super quickly. I've talked about this so much on my YouTube episodes, on my podcast, but this is so important. You want to make sure that your website is built in a way to convert. You want to keep your leads on your website for as long as possible. And the way to do that is to take them on a journey on your website. So make sure that you check out any of my episodes about websites. You can go to my website, tracylynncoaching.com, go to the podcast or the blog section and just search in there and you'll see 10, 15, 20 episodes all about website conversions. So make sure you go check that out. You want to invest time in building relationships with other businesses who are already serving your ideal client, so that you'll be able to be put in front of those ideal clients all the time in as many places as possible. You also want to invest time in using social media to attract clients, including Instagram and even Pinterest, because those are both tailored for visual content. So Pinterest is really good to get them to your blog. Anytime you write a blog, make sure you're pinning them on Pinterest. I actually use Pinterest in my education business all the time. I'm beginning to use it in my boudoir business as well, especially with the new expansion that's coming. So you're going to want to stick around to hear more about that in the next coming months for sure. But Instagram is literally built for photographers. It is a visual platform. And if you're not on Instagram and not using it regularly, you're definitely missing out. You want to make sure that you're optimizing your high converting website. We've already talked about that for search engines. And the way to do that is with search engine optimization and blogging. Blogs, I've already talked about that, but Pinterest is a really big and very helpful platform for blogs as well, because to be honest, Pinterest is a search engine as well. It's not just a social media platform. And you're going to be put in front of your ideal clients because they're literally searching for boudoir or whatever, what to wear on that platform. So blogging will help you get found on Google, but it'll also help you get found on Pinterest if you're pinning those as well. A few bad marketing investments would include monthly SEO agencies. I don't think that you need a monthly SEO agency. I think you need to have your website search engine optimized. And then after that, you don't really need a monthly SEO expert. Like, you don't. I've done it before. I think it was a waste of my time. I don't think that you need it. Marketing agencies are another investment I don't think that you need until you're paying yourself really well. Once you're paying yourself really well, once you have a business that is able to support you, then we can talk about a marketing agency for your business, but not until then. I think that Facebook ads are a short-term strategy and not a long-term sustainable strategy. So I think that that is a bad marketing investment until you are ready for it. There is a time and a place for marketing agencies, Facebook ads, all the things, but it is not until you've already built a business that can support yourself. And then the fourth smart investment is the client experience. We want to make sure that you're investing in high quality samples like prints, albums, and packaging, because that's going to help your clients be really happy with your work, happy with everything, and it'll also help them send referrals because they just feel like it's such a high quality that they can't get themselves. So luxury deliverables for sure. You also want to make sure that when you have samples in your studio that they understand that they can see them, feel them, touch them. They understand that it's not something that they can get at like Costco, Walgreens, Walmart. They need to understand that this is professional quality that they can only get with you. Hair and makeup. I think for Boudoir, this is a must. This is something you cannot be without. So make sure you get hair and makeup for every single client. Maybe it's an add-on or maybe it is something that just comes with the session. Either way, I think it's very, very important. And then client management software. There's definitely a benefit for using softwares for booking, billing, communicating with clients to streamline operations and improve your customer experience. So I think automations are something that's so important, and I want to make sure that you're using that for sure. So I use Acuity. That is my scheduling software, and I use it for automations like reminder emails, confirmations, things like that. HelloSign is my contract software. QuickBooks is where I do my invoicing, and my accountant just takes over from there. I'm beginning to use ShootProof for my invoicing and my online gallery delivery, things like that. But it is getting to be more powerful, and I'm seeing the benefit of possibly using ShootProof for invoicing and my contracts. I'm in the process of playing with it, seeing if I want to move over there, which would remove that extra $10 a month with HelloSign. So that's a potential thing that I'm working with, but we're going to see how all of that goes. And I will keep you guys up to date, of course. And then, of course, you've got Photoshop, Creative Cloud. Every photographer has to have that. So I want to talk about some bad client experience investments, and they're not necessarily bad. They're just something that I don't think is necessarily a must. I think anything that you can do to make the client experience better is something you should do. But to be honest, I used to do a gift for every single client, and I realized that it's not something that they're just like, oh my gosh, I have to have. So I think they're great, but I don't think it's something that you have to do for every single session. And I think the more client volume you get, the harder it's going to be to keep on top of these client gifts. So if you only get one thing from this episode, I want you to realize that there's lots of opportunities to spend money in your business, but I want you to stay focused on what is going to help you be better, create a better experience for your clients, and what's going to explode your business in a good way. Those are the investments that are going to pay for themselves in the future. Take it from me. I've learned all of this the hard way. I've made bad investments. I've made investments I shouldn't have, and I've made smart investments too. And I'm just going to be honest. I think my group program, 6 Figure Simplified, is the best investment that you can make for your business. The growth the photographers inside have had has been amazing. It's the call that I look forward to every single week. And this program, it just excites me so much. There are 50 no fluff trainings, step-by-step guides, templates, and checklists, and they transform your business on a flexible, one thing at a time schedule. I mean, honestly, these are pause and implement videos so that I tell you exactly how to do these things in your business so that it makes it easy for you. Inside 6 Figure Simplified, you're going to get group coaching calls, co-working calls, Facebook community, kickoff calls, website audits, new monthly trainings every single month. So the thing is, I created a passive sales system for my business that consistently turns organic traffic into paying clients. All I have to do is turn it on and watch it work. So inside 6 Figure Simplified, I'm sharing this exact system with you. This is the most reliable way to scale a boudoir business to consistent 30K months or more without having to add on more hours per month. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will work when you put in the work. It is literally the thing that I look forward to. Like I said, every single week we have weekly group calls. We have co-working calls twice a month. The Facebook community is so active. The kickoff calls are so fun because we get to know each other. I get to know your business inside and out. Website audits, those new trainings. This month in April, we're having 2 new trainings, not just one. It's not just going to help you grow your business in a profitable way. It's going to help you keep more money in your account. So that's something that I really think is different than other photography education programs, because I'm truly helping you grow your profit margins and keep more money in your pocket instead of spending more money. I'm not going to ask you to spend money on Facebook ads or spend money on anything like that. The most I would ask you to spend is on a website and possibly a bridal fair. Like, that is all I'm going to ask you to spend. Otherwise, what you're doing is growing your business in an organic way so that you can create the freedom that I know that you want in your business. So if you have any questions, remember, hit me up on Instagram at It's Tracy Lynn. And also remember that you are going to have access to 2 extra one-on-one calls with me so we can really get into the nitty-gritty of your business, and I will help you grow your business in the best way for you. So I really hope to hear from you. Remember, at It's Tracy Lynn on Instagram, and I will leave that in the show notes as well. And other than that, I will see you in the next episode in 2 weeks from now. And then starting in July, we'll be back on track with weekly episodes. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. Please be sure to rate and follow so that you never miss an episode. They drop every Thursday, and they're always full of super actionable information for you to apply right now in your boudoir business. Until then, make your next shoot your best shoot.